I was happy about the progress that I've been making through life. I was happy about the improvements. I was happy about the fact that I felt like I was learning how to socialize better, being more confident, and realizing that I can socialize in a group of friends and people and feel like I'm not standing out or different. I was glad that I was feeling that way. I was proud of the accomplishments that I've made. And I was also proud of the fact I was also feeling peaceful about the fact that I felt like I was spiritually awakening more, making progress. A lot of the spiritual concepts seemed to make more sense, and I seemed to be connecting all the ideas better and believing it more and more. I was happy about feeling like I was being able to learn how to be at a peaceful and loving, accepting states, no matter what happens. I was feeling like I was beginning to master that too. In spite of all that, in spite of all of this though, this year though did bring its struggles. I struggled and sometimes got overwhelmed in how to integrate all these ideas still. I still, I've learned a lot in how to spiritually grow. Uh, I continue to send, but still, some things still didn't quite make sense. I continue to send Reiki. I still continue to send Earth's Reiki with the intent of healing global issues around the world. I, I, I continue to go on road trips and look at power lines, and these often were good times that lead to the spiritual wisdom. Another thing that Another thing that I started to struggle with this year was learning to let go of the ego. After the Florida road trip, I realized that a lot of these happy feelings I was experiencing was actually based on pride. In other words, ego. Believing that you're feeling good about the fact that you're better than other people. When I suddenly realized that after Florida road trip, I was stopped in the tracks. And I was like, wait a minute. I started to learn that in order to awaken and be in a loving God, selfless perspective and awaken to the truth, you have to actually let go of the ego. You have to let go of pride, feeling like you're lucky or better than others. And that idea kind of made me. I was kind of had a hard time with that idea. I was kind of afraid to let it go. I believe that letting go of pride meant letting go of all the feelings that you are better than others, more superior than others, feel like you're on top of the world, and any other kind of joy related to that. In my whole life, that was my biggest driving force. I wanted to feel on top of the world. And I felt like now I was starting to kind of feel that way a little bit. Even though I didn't have a job yet, and I wasn't like, I still struggle with getting a job, still struggle with school. I was still feeling kind of happy about the fact that I was socializing, and I was talking to him, and I talked to amazing women. I feel like I could talk to amazing women now and all that. But I knew I needed to let it go. Well, I started to let it go, and I realized it wasn't that quite as hard as I thought it would be. I realized, I was so determined to spiritually grow that, I was willing to do that, and I knew if I do that, the outcome would probably be more awesome than it is now. So, I was willing to give it a go. Once I did that, something crazy happened. I met this one girl that spring, and I really liked her a lot. And I thought she was really amazing, really beautiful, and had a really interesting personality. She was really good at socializing too. She was extremely outgoing. And this brought a challenge that unfortunately lasted very long. This challenge lasted pretty much throughout the whole rest of the year and the following year. Once I hung out with this girl, once I met this girl, we danced at the club. I could tell I saw how interesting it was, and I noticed she liked me. I was confident and I was socializing, and I saw that she definitely liked me. She thought I was cool. I decided we were gonna part separate ways after the club, but then I had this brilliant idea. Kind of like past situations where I knew I have to, kind of like other past situations where I knew, like, if I don't speak up now, and you know, even though there may be doubts, if I take the chance to say, hey, let's hang out again, take the chance, I might pass it up. So I decided to say, hey, do you want me to give you a ride home? And all of a sudden, it was so weird. Not only she said yes, and I felt excited. When she said yes, she like felt excited too. It was almost like the excited feeling I got, she felt that too. It was like we were sharing the excitement that I felt, that, oh my God, what a brilliant move. This amazing girl that I met that likes me. Now I've given the opportunity that we can hang out again, and maybe this might lead to maybe possibly getting into a relationship. But this was just the first night meeting her. I drove her home, and we talked some more, and she massaged my back, and it felt so good. And then when I dropped her off, she decided to kiss me, and that was great. When she kissed me, I saw a bunch of like colors, and it looked so beautiful. And I wondered, is she spiritually aware? And then she went in the house. She lived in a really big house. Her parents looked like they had a lot of money. I thought that was kind of cool too. We made plans the next day, and I suddenly, even more so, realized how amazing and beautiful this girl seemed. I at least thought she was amazing and beautiful at the time. The reason why I thought she was because not only she was, really good at socializing and had a really cool personality, funny and outgoing, and was had a lot of elements and aspects that I wanted to become myself. But I also realized she was also a spiritual kind of person too, like the people at Unity Church, like me. And I was like, oh my God, that is so... It made her look even more beautiful. Because I realized how amazing spiritual growing is. And that almost made me look like I was... Like, it kind of made me want to like look up. It kind of made me look like a person that I could look up to. And on top of that, she liked me. And it was kind of amazing. The feeling was like, wow. She had a charming personality, to say the least. She continued to seem like she liked me too. We talked about a bunch of spiritual stuff that day. And we hung out, and I felt really comfortable, and I was myself. And we just seemed to click. The spiritual stuff we talked about, it seemed to just click on every level. We just got so excited. When we talked about spiritual stuff, we got really excited. I told her about my road trips. I told her about Florida. And I told her about all the interests that I have and what I liked, and she seemed to really admire that. And I was like, wow, that is awesome. I gave her a ride to work that day, and I dropped her off. When I dropped her off, she threw a candy. She threw a candy at me, so I could eat it on the way home. And I thought that was really cute. And then something really clicked. I was like, wow. If I was ever her girlfriend, that would be the most amazing, awesome experience ever, to a point I can't even possibly imagine. I really want to experience that. What it would be like having a girl like that being mine as my girlfriend.